One of the things I remember interviewing Garrett McNamara, I think back in season one, I think it was season one that I interviewed him, or season two, I can't remember. And he spoke about when he first came to Nazare, and the people learned that the local guys learned that he's going to go out and surf these waves, and it was almost like they kind of ignored him a little bit because they were like, this is a dead man walking. We don't want to associate ourselves with this guy who's going to die out there. Obviously now it's amazing because this happened, and now there's this interesting relationship because it's many of my clients will say, well, is Nazare a surfing town? And I'm like, not really. It's world famous because of these amazing waves, but when you get downtown or when you go to places like Situ and the historic centers, it's still an authentic Portuguese village. But what has your experience been of the people and them knowing, hey, this is what I'm doing here. I'm involved in this part of my work is involved with the waves and with shooting and filming. What has been the reaction that you've had with the local guys, the local people?
So wouldn't make any comparison with the path Garrett had over there. I mean, Garrett was always a pioneer when it comes to big wave surfing, whether in Nazare or even in some of our famous locations such as Jaws in Maui or Chopo. So it's a complete different thing.
Yeah.
But that first time I came in 2006 and we put the jet ski in the water with the surfboard and the camera. I had that vibe where the fishermen were looking at us like, what are you doing? What are you guys doing?
Yeah.
Basically for them, it was not a playground. It was
Yeah.
serious business. It's a place where you can die and they have to go there because they need to feed their family and
Yeah.
they lost plenty of friends and relatives. So there was something not appropriate, if I may say,
Yeah.
at some
Yeah.
point. And talking with a few guys, it was difficult for them to understand what was happening. And of course, big wave surfing kicked in. It became more and more popular. As you said, I wouldn't describe Nazare as a surf city or a surf town.
Yeah.
I think Peniche probably look more that way nowadays. Ericeira has a bit of a surf vibe also,
Yeah.
even like a lot of a surf vibe. There's plenty of surf shop.
Yeah.
Everywhere you walk, you see people with surfboard and cars with surfboard on the roof rack.
Yeah.
While Nazare is different vibe. If you don't look at Praia do Norte and if you don't look at the guys getting ready in the harbor, basically you don't see any surfing.
You
I think
wouldn't know. Yeah.
there's only a couple surf shop over there. But what struck me is how fast the people of Nazare jump into the dynamic of big wave surfing.
Yeah.
They understood something was happening. I don't think it was needed at all for them to fight it or stay away from it. They took the opportunity and start being super helpful. And by being helpful, they develop business really fast. And um, and I remember at first when we were going there, like even before 100 wave, they were opening some guest house for us at winter because they knew we'll have to come. And you know that guy, you know that guy. I say no worries, everything's closed, but we're gonna find a spot for you. And at some point, they ended up opening some restaurants also, or cooking some food for us.
Amazing.
And and that was just an offer, you know. There was no money talk at that time. And then of course the more often we were coming, the more people we were sending during production, the more it became a business and an established business. And I was surprised how fast people in Nazaré adapted to that new situation and
Yeah.
that trend of big wave surfing. And it was like that for everything, for accommodation, for food, production company. There's a great production company from Nazaré, name Above Creators, which kicked I would say 5 to 6 years ago, and which is now becoming the main production company in Nazaré.
Mm.
Whatever you need over there when it comes to production, feature film, stunt, commercial, production service, you're gonna call them because
Yeah.
that's the main guy. And it's a bunch of Nazaré locals, literally people from the early 90s, born in the early 90s, who literally like changed their job and changed position because they saw an opportunity, they saw they could be helpful, but they realized there was business coming their way, and they made it happen. And yeah, adaptation was really the thing which surprised me the most.